We are halfway between the pig-packing plants of Dubuque and the beef-packing plants of Chicago. Welcome to beautiful Rockford, Illinois, here from Agricultural Society Fairgrounds in 1871. This is old-style baseball and sticky bleachers, and my name is Cory.
I'm Bobby, excited for this old-timey baseball game we got going on
Yes.
here. Quickly leading it off with a two-bagger.
A two-bagger. That's the first time that term has been used, Bob. This is the inaugural year of the Association of Professional Baseball Players here in Rockford, Illinois. So everything we are going to see here is a first, Bob.
There's no other way I'd have it, Cory. It looks like he fumbled the ball out there in right field. I'm calling it right field. Oh, and another bonehead play there allows a run to come through.
And there you go, Bob. That's the first time we've named that right field, the first time we've had an error recorded in professional paid baseball, and the first time we have had a safe call at third base. Wow, lots of firsts.
Wait a second. You're telling me these players are getting paid?
This is the very first time that these players are getting paid, Bob. We're going to be going through the lineups as they go through. We're already at the 5 spot here for the for the visiting Chicago White Stockings.
Well, there's one thing I know about this game of baseball. It's a fast-moving game.
Yes, you're right. You are.
Tons of action.
That was Fred Tracy. Fred Tracy there. And here
Old
is
Fred Boxcar Tracy.
Yeah, here is the shortstop, Ed Duffy. Ed Duffy for the 1871 White Stockings is going to pop out.
And Ed Soda Pop Duffy pops out.
And here is Ed Pinkham, Bob. Another Ed.
Ed, don't call me Ed Pinkham.
All right, so 2 runs in the top of the first inning. And up first for the hometown Rockford Forest Cities, Bob, is the pitcher, George Zetline.
I think this is how baseball is going to be played, Cory. They're going to bat the pitcher first.
Pitcher first.
And then everybody comes out through.
Pitcher first. Hey, that works out for me. Oh, sorry. That was, Bob Addy. Zetline is the pitcher. Sorry about that. We're still getting our legs here. Bob Addy for the hometown team. George Zetline, the pitcher for the White Stockings. Here is future Hall of Famer, Bob, one of the first Hall of Famers, Cap Anson.
What is the Hall of Fame? What are you talking about?
Well, that was one of the future members, I said, Bob. He will be voted in 1939.
What sorcery do you have, Cory, that you can see the future?
Well, you know what? It's called baseballreference.com, something you'll know about a long time from now.
These words you're saying, I don't understand.
Top of the second, Bob. Top of the second, the visiting White Stockings are back up here. So in 1871, recent occurrences, Bob. Recently, the President of the United States, U.S. Grant, Civil War hero, signed into law the Civil Rights Act in 1871.
Old Ulysses.
Yes. Also, Otto von Bismarck, for whom Bismarck, North Dakota is named. North Dakota, not yet a state. Becomes Chancellor of Germany, one of the first chancellors of the German Empire. Of course, World War I is still a long, long time in the future.
You're telling me the world is going to go to war?
The world is going to go to war, but don't worry, it will not be in the lifetime of many of these players.
Well, if they live to the ripe old age of 40, it should be fun.
There you go. And the home team, Forest Cities, are back up. Now, Bob, interesting, of all the teams in the inaugural year of professional baseball, 2 of the teams are called the Forest Cities. So you think of all the possible names, both Rockford and Cleveland, to go by the Forest Cities.
Well, there's forests and there's cities, so it makes sense.
Well, there you
go.
go.
What other things could they possibly use? I mean, we're not going to use Indians or anything like that. That'd be offensive.
That would be offensive in 1871. Of course, not so much in 2017, many, many years later. That was George Bird, by the way, Bob, with a narrow base hit.
Oh.
And here's another error in the field, although George Bird's going to get tagged out on a silly base running mistake.
Air. I like that word. I like air.
Error.
It's like if they flub the ball, we'll call it an air.
And here is the catcher, Charlie Hodges, for the White Stockings, and he looks like he's going to pop out, and he will pop out. And he will go back to the dugout crying. There's another new word, Bob, dugouts.
Dugout. And I like the pop-up word, too. It's a lot of those going on today.
Yeah,
and the ball scoots by the left fielder, we'll say.
Joe Simmons is going to slide into what we will call second base, my partner, as it is the second of the bases on the field.
I like calling them bags.
Bagger will work. And out he goes. So 2 down. Up next is Duffy. Ed, this is Soda Pop Duffy, I think we just coined.
And Soda Pop Duffy with a little lazy blooper into left center field, and that's going to score another run, Cory.
I think he's going to record an R.B.I, Bob. I'm not sure what that's going to stand for, but I do like those 3 letters.
Runs by infielder.
There we go. No. Perfect. Ed Duffy is a shortstop, so runs by infielder is going to work.
And there's that ball curved there at the end, Cory. That wasn't a straight ball right there.
So it was a curving ball.
It was a curving ball.
All right, here's
just trying to deceive the batter.
And this one, Bob, Cherokee Fisher up for the hometown Forest Cities. Cherokee Fisher. And here's Denny Mack, not to be confused with future Hall of Fame Kansas City Royals broadcaster Denny Mack, who will not be born for probably another 50 years.
Or Alex Mack.
Or Alex Mack, who will not be born for another 120 years, probably.
And Zettel's throwing the ball well here, Cory. He's kind of settled in a little bit.
Zetline, so maybe another future Hall of Famer. The only pitcher on the roster here for these teams, of course, everyone batting their pitcher and pitchers taking it all the way through these games. So pitching changes and pitcher fatigue, not yet a thing, Bob. Not going to exist.
I don't know what those words mean, Cory. The pitcher's job is to throw.
Well, and we very recently stopped calling pitchers bowlers and started calling them pitchers.
I'm with the old school. I think we should call them bowlers, but, you know, that's not what the kids today like, and we're trying to get this game off the ground.
Well, we are trying to get this off the ground. That's true. Dr. Spalding trying to get things moving here. Here is pitcher against pitcher, Zetline, and...
a little nubba.
Yes, here we go. He is out, and here is Wood. This game moving awfully quickly, Bob. Jimmy Wood.
I tell you, this game, it's going to be a fast-paced game here, this baseball game.
And here is first baseman Bub McAtee, Bob. What a great 1871 name that is, Bub McAtee.
Bub the Flub McAtee.
All right, well, let's see if Bub the Flub gets this one through. He does sneak this one through the infield.
He flubs it right past the second baseman.
Perfect. And let's go ahead and call that position the second baseman, Bob, even though he's not standing at the base like the first and third baseman.
Yeah, I agree with that. He seems to be closer to the bag, though, than we'll say, I don't know. What's a short stop? I don't know.
A short stop heading to the bottom of the 4th inning. Also this year, Bob, 1871, the very first Rugby Union International results in a 4-1 win by Scotland over England. So across the pond, we do have sports action going on.
Those damn Yanks. Oh, wait. We're the Yanks. Never mind. Those damn Brits.
Yeah, those Brits. And, you know, Bob, we have not seen one yet here, but over in Cleveland, the very first home run has been recorded by Ezra Sutton of the Cleveland Forest Cities, the other Forest City team.
Well, explain this home run thing.
Well, you see those seats way out there past the, what we'll call the outfield?
Out past the field,
Out past the field. Well, if the ball goes out past those field, the fielders cannot get that ball back very easily, so the batter has a chance to run all the way around the bases for a home run. He will run to home, Bob.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. I don't know if that concept will stick with the game, Cory. I just don't see it.
Yeah, you don't see that one catching on?
No. I think people like to watch base hits and sack flies, as I like to call them.
Sack flies. Ooh, I like that one. It's a sacrificing. The bat is going to sacrifice himself. Yes, and you know what, Bob? This is a time for all of us to celebrate the good times because later on this year, Chicago will suffer the Great Fire, which will kill many, many and leave even more homeless in October 1871. And speaking of home, the third guy in third is running home, and it's going to make it a 4-0 game here after the errant throw by the left fielder. But yeah, I know that Chicago Fire, I can smell it burning already. It's going to be ugly, but we'll all get a chance to enjoy some professional baseball here. 2 words for baseball. We'll see if the great city of Chicago can rebound. Oh, yes. Well, I hope they can. I hope Queen Victoria over in England sends them some books for their library, only to find out that they did not have a library at the time. Who needs a library? And the big pitching change here, who are we going to go with? Zettel? Looks like Zettel's going to replace Zettel. It's George Zetline again, Bob. So of the Zetline brothers, there's 4 Georges. All have the same ERA. They all named him George. All named George, and they all have the same 2.73 ERA, which we'll have to figure out what ERA means here as we go on. But for now, we just like those letters, Bob. Every runner allowed. Every runner allowed. There we go.
I don't know what it means or why, but there's a... Oh, it looks like he hit that second baseman right in the face.
Right in the face.
But he gets back up and he throws out the second base there, so we do have an out recorded. And that looks like a long home run there, Cory. So it looks like we now experienced one of these home runs you've been talking about.
We have finally experienced one of these home runs, and we can call that one, Bob, a large home run. We can go ahead and call that one what we want because it's 1871, and none of these have been called before.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what adjective we should use, but large seemed good. It was scored 3 runs, so.
Yes, the Zetline brothers, Bob, all 4 of them are 26 years old, quadruplets. All of them go on to record an 18-9 win-loss record here this year.
I got to say, that's got to go down in the record books. I know the record books aren't big yet, but that's got to go down, right?
Right now, they're record tablets, Bob. They're made of stone.
Ah. Then they won't burn in the fire.
They won't burn in the fire. That is true. We will be fine with that. Let me look at
sure that we didn't start the fire.
This is Gat Stiers, Bob. Gat, G-A-T, Gat Stiers, batting 5th.
Gat the Gun Stiers here.
Gat the Gun Stiers. That's perfect. For the I don't know what the city of Rockford is like here in 1871. Maybe that will become more apt term as we go on.
It looks like we got ourselves a all tied up ball game here, Cory.
There you go. First one we've had since our 0-0 tie at the beginning. That was Ralph Ham, Bob. Ralph Ham.
Ralph Honey Smoked Ham there.
Yeah, love it. And here's Bird again. George Bird. Don't call me George Bird.
George, don't call me Bill Bird.
66 on our speed gun, which will not be invented for another maybe 50, 60 years.
Oh, and it looks like the middle outfielder, he ran the wrong way to start that play, and that's going to allow another run to come in. So it looks like we have a 5-4 game here, Cory.
There we go. And Agricultural Society Fairgrounds in Rockford is going crazy. Straw hats are flying onto the field.
And we got down. Oh, it looks like it was some type of rundown, some type of, I don't know, pickle?
Yes.
Whatever you want to call it.
Some situation with running and downing.
A running down.
A running down. That's perfect. That's perfect.
I like that. It's a running down. A run downing. And the 66-mile-an-hour ball. And now, where do we get? Did we get strike from the bowling term? We kept that.
You know what? I'm not sure if that comes from rugby, Bob. That might come from, or not rugby. I'm sorry, cricket. That might come from cricket. One of the parent names of this games of our baseball.
Across the pond game here.
Yes.
And there's another pop fly out there, so quickly one out here for Rockford.
Unfortunately, Bob, Rockford, this hometown team, will finish 15.5 games behind the champion of the division, the Philadelphia Athletics Club.
They are very athletic over there in Philadelphia.
And they will be caught in a scandal this year, Bob, later on when player-manager Scott Hastings violates the 60-day rule where he switches teams during the season and plays before sitting out for 60 days.
It's brought shame onto baseball, and it should definitely be punished.
And the great city of Rockford professional baseball will never recover.
We'll only have minor league baseball here in Rockford from now on. Minor league, we won't get into it yet.
Minor league will have minor league baseball. That's right. Rockford will have minor league. But after the 1871 season, Bob, the Rockford Forest Cities will fold due to scandal and financial difficulties.
Cory, don't bring this up. We're trying to get people to stick around and watch baseball here in Rockford.
That's right. Keep those bowler caps on.
Don't tell them that.
Don't tell them that the team will not make it to the 1872 year. All right.
Tell them that.
Here's Denny Mack leading off.
Gosh.
Bottom of the 6th. Hometown hero Denny Mack, and I also believe future Hall of Famer. That would have to check up. Good old baseball reference, which will not be around for another 130 years.
He's a Rockford Baseball Hall of Famer.
Yes, definitely that. Cap Anson, future real Hall of Famer, thrown out there for a quick bottom of the 6th. Top of the 7th we go, Bob, and we're about to invent the 7th inning stretch after this one.
I could use a good stretch right now. Yeah, that makes sense.
Although that won't come around until, I believe, the 19 teens. When
those swinging teens. It looks like we have another large home run here, Cory.
Oh, boy, Bobby. Oh, doctor.
Doctor, send your medicine home.
That's
Sleep
right.
overnight. That's a huge home run there by Chicago.
Ooh, Bob, actually, it's possible seventh inning stretch may have been around earlier than 1910 when it was first reported to have happened when President William Howard Taft stood up between the seventh top.
People have been
of the
stretching for years, Corey. They've been stretching for years. It's the mainstream media that's been trying to keep it down, keep it away from the public.
Yes, it could, Bob, could have happened as early as 1869, before professional baseball was around. When the
I'm going to tell you, it's a conspiracy theory, but we've been stretching for years. We've been stretching in the bleachers, outside the stadiums, at home when we listen to the game on the radio.
And baseball on the radio will not be around, I think, for a few more years after this.
We've had radio for years. Years, Corey.
We have it radio for years, and it is stretch time as we go on. Let me see, Bob, if Take Me Out to the Ball Game. No, Take Me Out to the Ball Game does not exist yet. It will not be written until 1908.
When those Cubbies, huh?
So, yes, we are a good 36 years from Take Me Out to the Ball Game, 37 years, being published in Tin Pan Alley.
Tin Pan Alley, where all the hits come from.
All the hits. I don't know if they come from Tin Pan Alley yet here in 1871. Maybe Tin Pan Alley.
All the hits, Corey.
All the hits. All the hits.
All the singles, the doubles, the triples, the home runs, they all come from Tin Pan Alley.
Here's Ralph Ham again up with the White Stockings enjoying a 6-5 lead here in the bottom of the seventh. Ham trying to get things going. No outs, though, here with 2 men on. Let's see if he can get one.
Ooh, and that ball's hit well, Corey. Let's see if it's got the distance, and it does. Another home run here. Maybe I am changing my tune on this home run ball here, Cory. It is quite exciting.
A 3-run Ralph, Bob. Too bad that wasn't hit by somebody named Jack, or we could call it a Jack, but we're going to call it a 3-run Ralph by Ralph.
I like
Ham.
that. 3-run Ralph there.
3-run Ralph.
He really Ralphed it out of the park.
There we go.
Foul ball here. And so we got 2 strikes here. Haven't recorded a strikeout yet today, which is a bit surprising.
Yeah.
A lot of contact being made.
Well, that's good, Bob. Got to get those buns in the seats. I don't know if buns are being used yet for that, but Rockford now from a 1-run deficit to a 2-run lead thanks to that big one, that large home run by George Ham.
Well, he really Ralphed it out of the park there.
Right you are, Bob. Now, hey, later on this year, the city of Birmingham, Alabama will be established, Bob, later on this year in December.
And where would we be without Birmingham,
Where
Alabama?
would we be? And, you know, nothing bad would ever happen again in Birmingham, Alabama.
Nope. Nothing I can think of.
And also, the National Rifle Association is first granted a charter by the state of New York in November 17th, so we're in a pre-NRA world here, Bob. So I don't know if that means that we have more guns or fewer guns in the stadium today.
It's kind of ironic that New York does that.
Yeah, well, and of course, in 1871, they would just be musket guns, probably.
Right. These automatic weapons here.
Yeah, nothing like that yet.
Oh, and another well-hit ball. Let's see if that can get over the fence. Ooh. Oh, it just hits on the top of the fence there, Cory.
Just off the top.
So what happens if a fan out in the outfield bleachers reaches over and gets the ball? Is that still a home run, Cory?
I'm not sure if we have anything. You mean if a fanatic interferes with the ball?
Correct. Yes, one of those fanatics. And here's another well-hit ball to right field. And my God, these home runs are Ralphing out of the park.
They are Ralphing them out of here like crazy, Bob. 1871, pretty stuff all the way around.
I wonder if these players are on some type of steroid, if you will.
And look, Bob, they're bringing in another hitter as they've been put in a pinch.
Ah, you're right. And it looks like the umpire there, the field umpire, got in the way of that ball a little bit.
Yeah, but, you know, no call there. And they're bringing in another hitter in a pinch.
They must really be in a pinch here, Cory.
Oh, that is
called a fair ball? Do they call that a fair ball?
Looks like it's called a fair ball by the umpire way out there in right field. It's 11-8 to the White Stockings.
So it looks like the White Stockings here putting a shellacking here on the Rockford 4 Cityers.
And Wood, great-great-great-great-great-grandfather of future Cubs great Cory Wood.
Watch his arm.
Jimmy Wood, that is.
Jimmy, don't call me Cory Wood.
Jimmy, don't call me Cory Wood. Second baseman.
Oh, and that ball scoots right by the first baseman.
28 years old here in 1871 is Jimmy Wood. He would
Very old man.
He would go on, Bob, to record a .563 slugging percentage in 1871.
Oh, and look at that. It's a roller all the way out to the wall there, Cory. And the middle outfielder is going to have to run and get that ball. We got to come up with a better name for that middle outfielder. It just doesn't roll off the tongue.
Yeah, middle field. That sounds a little bit like English stuff, so we don't want to have any of that cricket nonsense.
Nah, we don't have any of that cricket. No, this game's completely different.
Jimmy Wood, Bob, would lead the team in batting average, batting .378 in 1871. Is that a good batting average or not? We don't even know.
I don't know. I'm going to go yes.
We're going to go yes on that.
Right
okay.
now. Just going to go yes right now.
Sounds good to me.
And there's a well-hit ball, but it looks like that middle outfielder is going to get there and record the out.
Maybe we'll have a song someday, Bob, called Middle Field.
Middle field, yeah.
Middle field. It'll
like
say, "Put me in, player manager. I'm ready to play."
They'll record it in Tin Pan Alley, correct?
It will be a Tin Pan Alley song, and it will be a hit.
And it looks like that right fielder bobbled the ball. And another run is going to score. So 15-8 here for the Chicago White Stockings.
Chicago White Stockings.
Whose stockings are not white at this point in the game.
That's true. Everything is black here. And look at those stirrups, Bob. Beautiful stirrups.
Oh, and another swing and a miss, and we record our first strikeout. But 9 runs scored by the White Stockings here in the top of the 8th inning. So the Rockford has some work to do, wouldn't you say, Cory?
I would say they are under a big deficit here. Denny Mack, again, not future Hall of Famer, coming up. So we will see what they can do. That's a good start. There's what we're going to call a base hit.
A base hit, but it looks like he's going to run to second here, Cory. And he's going to get in there. So you can see the player manager for Chicago is irate.
Yes.
Because he thought he was out.
Very, very upset. And interesting, Bob, in the future, the White Stockings will not go on to be the Chicago White Sox. They will, in fact, become the Chicago Cubs.
Those Cubbies.
Couldn't
afford White Sox anymore.
Yes, in the year 1889, they will become the Chicago Cubs.
I don't know, again, where you're getting all this future information, Cory. It is scary and startling to me.
It is sorcery. Baseball Reference and Wikipedia, 2 things that will not exist for a long time, are helping me out. So they put up a 0 on the board after giving up 9 runs.
I think Rockford should have put in a cancel there instead of Fisher.
Yep, maybe.
I thought they were choosing. It was like, should we put in cancel a Fisher, cancel a Fisher.
Although Fisher is pitching a little bit like he's trying to cancel his contract out to get moved over maybe to the Cleveland Forest Cities.
Now, what do these players get paid? Do they get paid in like dairy and eggs, or do they get paid actual like money?
I'm sure it depends on the city. Maybe it depends on the grand export of the city. I'm not sure what Rockford produces. Chicago makes a lot of beef, though. Maybe they get paid in beef.
Maybe they get paid in steaks.
Maybe steaks.
I could see that. It looks like Chicago's going to keep laying it on here.
Yep.
Up 16-8.
16-8. I don't know if we have the 10-run rule here in 1871. We'll see what the umpires decide if and when we get there, Bob. Oh,
and another flub play there by the second baseman.
They do get the runner who is leading, we'll say. Let's call it the runner who is leading at third base.
The runner who's leading like that. And mercifully, the inning comes to a close here.
16-8, so even bigger to get out here in the bottom of the 9th, the last chance. Although, is he going to get on? He is. He will reach on an error.
And here's Honeyham up again.
Looks
at a ball.
And the Zetline brothers still pitching for the Chicago White Stockings, looking to seal this win.
Oh, that's a well-hit ball, though, but it's right at the left fielder. And so he catches the ball and throws it back into second base, and the runner stays at first base, Cory.
All right, here's George. Don't call me, what did you say, Bird, Bob?
Don't call me Flamingo?
Don't call me Flamingo, George Bird. And he's going to reach.
They're going to have runners on first and second base here, Cory, and it looks like that's going to prompt a pitching change. Pinch hitter.
Pinch hitter. Who do we have here? Let me see. Al Barker, Bob. Al Barker.
I like that.
Yes.
Hey, we got runners on first here and third base. Down by 8 runs.
Down by 8 runs, leaving the pitcher in there to bat, Bob.
Oh, and he gets a base hit down the line.
He squeaks one over, Bob.
He squeaks one right over the first baseman's head, all the way down to the field umpire. And that's going to score. Look at that hustle play.
Wow.
He scores all the way from first base.
Cherokee Fisher.
And we have a large pop fly, Cory.
Oh.
And that's going to record the end of the game here.
That is going to do things here for our inaugural 1871 baseball game. And let's take a look at tomorrow's newspaper, Bob.
Again with this future sorcery.
The Stockings come out with a win. That's right. We get to look at tomorrow's newspaper. Extra. Maybe this will be in the evening edition, Bob. Of course,
it should be. Yeah,
night
the
baseball.
6 o'clock edition.
The 6 o'clock edition. Night baseball will not exist for a long, long time from now. So this very well could be this evening's edition of the paper, not tomorrow's edition.
Very much so. Look at that nice picture of the boys proud after their win.
Yes.
And an impressive victory here by the Chicago White Stockings.
Lined up all the way through. So an exciting game here in the inaugural season of professional baseball. I have to thank Baron von Lechter for putting together this beautiful patch of R.B.I. baseball with 1871 teams, with 1871 rosters and statistics. Also, check out baseballreference.com for all the information that we have pulled up, and Wikipedia for more of the stuff that we pulled up, and just our minds for the stuff we made up, Bob.
Oh, yeah, we're going to change that on Wikipedia here after this. So.
Okay, so everything we have said is fact.
Everything we made up, yeah, it's going to be fact.
Is now going to be on Wikipedia. Okay, well, we'll get to work on that. Meanwhile, you can get to work on clicking the thumbs up button if you like this video. Do check out Baron von Lechter's work over at his new website. Subscribe to this channel if you have not already. Especially make a comment on this channel and get in touch with us. Let us know what you think on Twitter and Facebook, where we are Sticky Bleachers. And stay tuned every week for fun sports retro action all the time here on our YouTube channel. For now, I will be Cory signing off.
I'm Bob. We'll see you next time.